indicated her usual chair. Anna turned and straddled it, resting her arms on the back while she pretended to look at something besides Connell. It was the same room they always used, the one without the two-way mirror. Better not to have an audience for their exercise in futility. The smell was the same, a mix of disinfectant, sweat, coffee, burgers, and Connell. He smelled really good, but then he always did. He looked good too. She'd managed to convince herself he wasn't all that, and then she'd see him again and find he was more. Today he was wearing jeans and a t-shirt. Neither was particularly new, but they loved his body almost as much as she did. His dark hair was unruly, like he'd shoved his hands through it a few times. If he were on the trail of a trapini, then he probably had done it more than a few times. He stared at her for a whole minute before he took his usual seat across from her. Long ago she'd decided it was a cop power play. Of course he was a good cop. He was good at everything he did. So was his family. Her family was good at getting it wrong. True to that family tradition, she'd gotten it wrong by falling in love with a Milani. Her family kept wondering when she'd find a good Italian boy and settle down. Of course, their idea of good was a good second-story man. She should have gotten over it, briefly thought she had when Connell followed the family footsteps into law enforcement. His first caller was her brother Paolo, for pity's sake. But he'd looked so hot in his uniform when he testified at Paolo's trial, Anna had to put on her sunglasses so no one would see her staring at him. She'd contained the drooling by pretending to be upset by the trial. When she dabbed her eyes with a tissue, she'd sopped up the drool on the way to her eyes. She'd gotten some major sympathy points from Grandma Trapini, but it wasn't enough to save 5 pounds of chocolate from going down. She became very familiar with his shiny new cop car and had ample opportunity to examine the fit of his uniform in her rear-view mirror, both coming and going. He stopped her on a regular basis during his time on routine patrol. She might have asked for it by going a few miles over the speed limit and letting her safety inspection tag expire. It was worth a ticket and made her dad feel better about her Trapini creds. Any court date was better than no court date. When Connell got promoted, he and his new partner stopped in the shop now and again. Hatch was a fan of her dark chocolate rum Victorias. Connell was all about the eclairs. It was the one thing they had in common. Could one build a relationship on a pastry? He'd started bringing her in for questioning.